What's going on, pros? This is Mike with another Dirty Promotions video. This is a Jetta. I'm assuming it's a newer year. A lot of people have questions on very basic cars. There's a lot of newbies that ask questions related to heat shrinking, prepping, all this kind of stuff. As you already know, these guys are a pain in the ass because they have all this hardware, you know, all the real high lids, back lids and stuff. So if you see right there, we removed the back lid. You don't have to. I mean, all the heroes that don't want to remove it, you don't have to, but we did. So there's a lot of things that are here, right? There's a cloth material from these Jettas that when they get wet, and because all the sun exposure on these German cars for a long time, the cloth here will get stained. It won't get stained in front of your eyes, but when it dries, there'll be a fucking big old mark around here. Believe me, been there, done that, okay? So you do whatever you guys got to do. I don't care. This right here will get wet, and the very first thing of your problems will be that it'll get stained here. And the second big deal of your problems is that water and heat will make humidity, making this little thing want to bubble up. You know, the cloth will become undone from this deal. So there's an array of problems that will haunt you if you leave these things on. If you cover them with a trash bag or some other plastics, you're good. The lid on the bottom, people are always looking for reach tools and all kinds of bullshit to reach the bottom, when in essence you can remove this lid in 5 minutes and be done with it. Don't ask me how to remove it, guys. I really want you to use your brain and figure out how to remove it, because it's really in your best interest to learn all these things. Okay, so now let me go to the outside, and here's our pattern. Distribute it, you know, get one of these or whatever other rag, wet it, and then do this number right here so it'll stay put in the middle, right there, and of course here. Now this is a computer cut pattern. You can use regular out of the box. It'll be more over here and a little bit higher, but since this is not a real difficult window, I can get away with actually having this pattern and not fucking it up. If it would be like a Volkswagen Beetle or something, highly recommend you that you leave it long so you can do the pull method and all this kind of stuff. This doesn't require it. But what I am going to ask you to do, distribute this film 50-50, because it does have a very simple curve. 50-50 meaning leave, look, examine, and kind of do this, you know, kind of do this number to where it's 50-50. And there it is. Now, let me go ahead and show you what you're looking at here. This right here is a window that we clean on the exterior. So of course you can put this pattern on here. So I'm going to cover a lot of things with just one fucking video, right? A lot of the guys that are romantic about using these cards to do this number, all this stuff that is in there that you see, all these dimples and shit, it's probably overspray or something of, you know, heat, humidity, climate outside, acid rain, whatever you want to call it, it's here. And when you do this with a heat gun and do this, heat and this and film will leave imprints of all this shit on the film. So when you apply it, and if the customer looks at it and asks you, it fucking looks grainy and all this bullshit, and you want to say, oh, it's a stupid film, it's not the stupid film, it's the stupid method that you're using. You're not taking care of yourself, the customer, the film. 99% of the people will say, well, you know, I cleaned the window. Yes, I cleaned the window too, but in order to get rid of all this, you probably have to put a square blade, you know, scrub it, clay it. 99% of the people don't do that. You know, what you're gonna do is spray water on the outside, clean it, and then put the pattern on top and expect and hope that this shit's not there. But guess what? This shit is gonna be there. So anyway, I'm done with that. If you guys want to go ahead and keep on using this and leaving imprints on the film, that's your prerogative, it's not mine. What I will recommend you do, use one of these by itself. It's a modified MacTac. I invented it some years ago. I do sell them on my site, but you can make one on your own if you like. Adhesive, good adhesive, any type of card. You can actually slip this guy into one of these full cards and stuff like that. Some guys use this for, you know, anything that is hard is not good for the heat shrinking because of all these shits, right? So one of these is very forgiving. It's not going to leave this imprint and stuff, so I recommend it. So now that I've recommended and done that stuff, let's go ahead and get on the heat shrinking and get this shit on the road. Okay. All right. Now this gun, of course, when it shoots air and it hits the glass straight like that, it shoots air, and some air goes this way and some air goes this way. If you're gonna heat shrink the bottom, then go ahead and incline this a little bit this way so that your air can go ahead and be most effective to the bottom area first. And get it real close and just walk it across half inch by half inch. In some instances, I'm even touching the film, and that's okay. I mean, with a gun, and it's cool. It's okay. Nothing's gonna happen. It does have the liner, the clear liner, to protect it from any minor scratches or whatever. Just walk it like that. Remember to keep the gun on the film long enough to affect the film, meaning you look at it and when it starts to move, that's when it's affecting the film. That's what it means, right? Affecting the film. Okay. So, get all this air out of the way. You can do it since the beginning or after, it doesn't matter. It's just air in there. So, there it is. Continue my thing. I'll leave it long enough to where it's affecting the film. Okay. Okay. And this gun is going full blast, by the way. It's at the highest setting. I don't believe in low settings or nothing. Low settings, to me, it slows me down. Because if you want to say, well, I don't want to burn the heat, well, keep your fucking hand moving long enough to where it's not there long enough to burn the film, right? Easy as that. You know, why am I going to dial it down on the heat when the heat is the one that molds the film? So there it is. Do the top, and of course we're going to point it to the top, as I mentioned, just right there. And I know there's people out there that can do this in 3 minutes. Great. We're just going to take the necessary time to make a good video of these heat shrinking. And of course, having a great film helps on the heat shrinking. If you see a big finger right here, and you know, just go ahead and crack them in half and go ahead and move this guy a little bit more this way, and then continue your thing. That way you give yourself a fighting chance not to have any problems with a heat shrink, right? Okay.